So I'm finally done with the PhD. I submitted, I think, 2 days ago. So yeah, bruh, the drama and the stress and the everything is over.
Oh, it's so good, man.
Like,
Finally out there.
yeah.
So the final dissertation and everything is submitted?
Yeah, the final dissertation is submitted, and then I had to submit a paper also to a journal. So I miss this young head. Mama me. Lee, I have good news for you.
Oh my god.
I am done, as in done.
Congratulations, mommy. Yes, I'm with you.
I tell you, mommy, you know the sweat and blood and tears and everything that one has gone through. So I am very relieved, honestly. It feels good to finally have the time to do the things I loved doing. I mean, I haven't been on camera for quite a while, so let's see how this goes. Do you know why I put those lights there? To give me an extra source of light coming to my face.
Right.
It makes a difference.
It works.
Excuse me. It's recording now.
It's recording.
So it has been almost 4 months since I last posted a video on this channel, and honestly that was not even my intention. You know, life happens, but I am back, and yes guys, a lot has been happening, but the most important and exciting thing is that I am finally done with my PhD. Okay, so let me just give a little bit of my journey, my PhD journey, in 1 minute up to this point. So I started my PhD in 2019, and in 2020, when I was supposed to start my data collection, because I spent 2019, you know, writing and perfecting my proposal. In 2020, when I was to begin my data collection in March, the coronavirus broke out in South Africa. There were so many lockdowns. In fact, there was a lockdown all over the country, especially, you know, in your hospitals, your clinics and things like that, where they were receiving patients. There was a lot of red tape around that, and my data collection was supposed to happen at clinics. So from March up until August, September, I was literally sitting at home doing nothing, and I lost 6 months of data collection. So that's 6 months gone down the drain, and I began panicking because, I mean, the minimum time of completion of PhD in my university was 3 years, and also the scholarship that I was on, part of the, would you say, the terms and condition of the scholarship was that I should be done my PhD within 3 years. So I started panicking, but I was like, you know what, man, God is going to make a way. So towards the end of 2020, the isolation in South Africa, literally staying alone, it was just getting too much for me. And as you guys will recall, I now moved back home to Cameroon. And before I moved back home, I had actually started my data collection and completed my data collection, the challenging part of my data collection, when the lockdowns were uplifted. So I spent the whole of last year, 2021, now writing my thesis, my results and everything. And I'm doing my PhD by publication, so we have to submit to a journal article for review and publication, and then submit to the university as well. So yes guys, the relief is on another level. This thing is pressing this thing here. Is it affecting anything on the screen?
No.
But it's pressing a button. Maybe it will affect your phone.
It's not pressing.
It's pressing the down button. Shift it to more. Yes.
Can I stop?
Yeah, stop. While I was doing my PhD though, I experienced a lot of roller coaster emotions. Even while in Cameroon, I did experience quite a lot of isolation because the bulk of work that I had to do and catch up was so much that, you know, when friends would invite me, I could not even hang out with friends. Total, I had lost about a year, you know, of actual time committed to my PhD because of the lockdowns and this personal challenge of mine. So I was actually working on 2 years to complete this thing. So with all the pressure that was on me, people did not understand why I literally disappeared from social scenes. I disappeared from social media at some point. It was just a lot. Right now I'm trying to adjust back to normal life, and it's not even easy. Like, sometimes I'm up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I don't even know why I'm awake, but I cannot sleep, you know, maybe because my system is so used to not really having a set time. Which brings me to the topic of discussion that has actually been on my mind since I completed my PhD. Oh man, it's been on my mind. So we are in Africa, and that on this continent, people prioritize getting a good job and a good career once you graduate. So if you do your BSc, MSc, worst of all PhD, the first thing is everybody is looking for you to get this grand master job in this huge company, and then you're just making millions. There's that anticipation and that expectation that that's the next step you ought to take. And to me, I've been through a journey the past 3 years doing my PhD that has completely changed my mind about what I want to do, and perhaps why I don't really want to take that ideal route that everybody perceives is the right route to take. When we are in primary school and going through to high school, there's a lot of focus on learning in order to get a job, especially in the Cameroon education system, where the different sectors that exist. For example, education, you have the teachers; hospitals, you have the nurses, lawyers. There are specific jobs, if I'm putting it in inverted commas, that once you reach a certain level, you get your degree. Within the Cameroonian system, you are maybe expected to go within these different avenues, because those are the avenues that over the past years, our parents have been making sufficient income from. So when you are in high school, they're drilling in your mind, okay, when you finish, you're going to be an engineer. When you're good at biology, you're going to be a doctor. When you're good at arts, you're going to be an economist, you're going to be a banker. Those kind of things are really, really imprinted in our mind. So when you now graduate and you are not following those particular, routes that have been set in the system for you to follow, you are now seen and looked upon as a rebel by society, by your peers, and even the family where you come from. They're like, but why won't you just get a job? What do you mean starting a business? And the other thing is that people who started a business or who were business inclined were looked upon as people who were perhaps not strong academically, which is so sad. So most times you see people, parents might, or people, society would discourage people from starting a business. Or if you start a business, you are looked upon as someone who is a failure because you did not get a job. So starting a business, I don't really understand how, but you are looked upon as some failure or someone who is just a rebel to the system. So anyway, for me, it's really sad that we've been programmed to think that way, but honestly, it really is a programming or conditioning. Back in those days, there were so many opportunities available for people who graduated. You will often hear people say the fact that they graduated, they didn't even get into university, but they were already teaching in their previous high school. And so the job market was very, very, very fresh, maybe 50 years ago. But now there is so much saturation of people in the system, to the point that you now graduate, you have a bachelor's, you have a master's, you even have a PhD, there is no job for you. There's no job for you. Not only is there saturation, but there's also nepotism, and people will obviously give jobs opportunities to their friends, their families, people that they know. And then worst of all, there is corruption. So you're fighting three things: you're fighting oversaturation, you're fighting nepotism, you're fighting corruption. Like, hey God, oh my goodness. So when you start looking at these things, it's almost as if you are setting one up for failure by trying to force them into a system that has over time failed or over time stopped working. But to me, if the career comes first, it shows that you actually spend most of your life living for a career and not actually living your life and then having a career support your life. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm gonna try to break it down. So anyway, while I was doing my PhD, I had a lot of time to think critically. Maybe that's why it's called doctor in philosophy, but whatever. I had a lot of time to think critically about what I really want, and what might work best for the kind of life that I hope to live. Before I get into why I no longer want a dream job, I just want to say that I have actually worked for some time. In 2018, I worked at a hospital in Johannesburg, and I've part-time lectured as well. So I have done, some working. I've tested, put my feet in the waters and, tested it. I have experienced a lot of toxic narcissistic bosses and the way they treat me and the staff under them, that has just left me feeling like, but why should I spend all of my time and my years, working for someone, for a company that doesn't stand for the values that I believe in, who actually doesn't give a damn, and who can replace me tomorrow if I'm no more. So this has now brought me to a new frame of mind where I'm like, okay, the way things should be is that we should build a career around our lives and not our lives around a career. We tend to build our entire lives around a career. It's like you have the career first and then you have your life, and that's where my problem is. The fact that our society and our schools have programmed us to put a career before our lives. The way I see things now, I hope to build a career around my life. I hope to, or I want to, or I'm in the journey of, in the process of prioritizing the kind of life that I want, and then finding a kind of career that fits in that kind of life that I want. For example, during my PhD, I realized that I am not a morning person. Maybe it's even the PhD that messed up my sleeping patterns. I cannot wake up at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. and I'm already active every single day. It is a lot. And honestly, let me give an example. Like a 9 to 5 to me, it's not even a 9 to 5. A 9 to 5 is like maybe a 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. because ideally before you get to the office at 9, you're up at 6 a.m. So unfortunately, this is just how the system is. And don't get me wrong, I'm not speaking on anyone who is in a 9 to 5, because I even have a friend who prefers a 9 to 5. She's comfortable in it and all of that. Trying to fit within that framework is not easy. I really, really want to have the kind of life where I'm not 40 hours or 80 hours a week away from friends and family, and maybe I'll only see them 30 minutes in one day. I've been panicking here until my knees want to finish me.
You're okay.
Am I okay?
You're okay.
All right. Anyway, so I want to have the kind of life where I have time to spend with my family and my friends. I don't want to be away in the office all day, just the kind of life that is so much away from my loved ones. To me, I don't really want to live that kind of life. And then I want to travel if I have the opportunity to see other parts of Cameroon, other parts of the world. I want to have time to minister to people, do the things of God. I want to have time for myself. I want to have time for YouTube. I want to have time to actually do other things. It's a sermon by Apostle Joshua Selman where he teaches about redeeming time and how spending a lot of time chasing money all our lives is like wasted time. So one has to get proper opportunities and also put investments in place in order to redeem time, because time is actually the most precious thing in this world. If you lose time, oh my goodness, you can never get time back. So the way I see life, it's like you should constantly be trying to redeem your time so that you can be able to do other things that can bring fulfillment and live out your purpose. So that's why I looked at my life and I was like, no, something has to change. I have to prioritize life first, not a career, and pinpoint exactly how I hope my life should be like, and then find opportunities that can fit within that, and I can still earn income but live the kind of life that I want to live. Let me even just be clear. I no longer want a dream job, the kind of dream job that society deems to be a dream job, but I rather want a career that will suit my dream life. I'm shifting my mindset from dream job to dream life and focusing on finding those opportunities to fit my dream life. So I'm not against working. How can I be against working? Even the Bible says, whoever does not work will not eat. The Bible says, I will bless the works of your hands. The works of your hands means you have to be working. So I am not saying that we should not work. I'm not saying that me and myself I will not work, but it's about finding those right opportunities. We are all in different career fields, and for some people, and again, this video is my personal opinion, personal perspective, and honestly, I'm not shaming anybody who feels otherwise. It's okay, to feel and to think differently. This is just my own conclusion that I have come to. So with all of this, I'm now trying to take certain steps in my own way to fulfill this desire to build the dream life. For example, looking for remote opportunities where I can be able to work from home and still have time to do other things. The other thing is starting my own practice, which I maybe will speak about more on this channel at some other point. But I have my own skills that I've learned from the university, and in Cameroon, they have even not really a lot of dietitians to begin with. Neither is there even an influx of them into hospitals. So I'm trying to start my own thing and consult with patients from home. So I'm trying to use my skills, but to kind of work for myself. And it's not easy, but I feel like I really want to build something, a legacy that I can even bring other dietitians on board and do something different in this country, because man, there's a lot of health problems here, especially diabetes, which is my primary focus. And it's so sad that dietitians are not even really recognized. So one has to start from somewhere and build something. I think especially us young people that are now graduating, it's not just about getting a job, but if you have skills that are needed in the society, start something by yourself, even if it is really challenging, but start your own thing. Start something. We have so many startups that are booming now and a lot of apps that are being created. If you are not someone who can do applications, start an NGO. It's not beyond us. So these are just a few of my own ideas I'm thinking of now on how to move towards that direction, like I've been explaining. I've been listening to conversations of elderly people, and they'll sit me down and say, Joanne, wow, it's so good that you came back home. I wish I made that decision 30 years ago. Or they'll say, oh, Joanne, I really wanted to start this thing in Cameroon, and I don't know why I wasted so much time. I'm now starting it in my retirement, and I wasted a lot of time. And the one common thing they all keep talking about is time. Time. So I'm like, if elderly people who are in their 50s, 60s are telling me about wasted time, am I going to follow the same the same road that they took, and 50 years end up making the same conclusion? Or am I going to, even as difficult as it is, start in a different road altogether, as challenging as it is, and as it as much as it is a route for persecution because you are going against the system, but at least it's something different, and you are not wasting time to make that decision 20 years from now. So anyway, just wanted to put in there that was part of the trigger that got me thinking in this direction as well. So anyway, guys, this video was just to catch up with you all, to say that I am back and to share with you my frame of mind this present point in time. I am still in Cameroon. I am here and definitely open to opportunities in the line of what I have been explaining on the channel. And yeah, I will be I'll be more consistent on the channel. You guys are going to continue seeing me. I miss you all. I miss uploading. I miss the comments. I miss everything about YouTube. It's just that the year has been so chaotic to begin with, but I'm so glad that I am back. Thank you guys so much for watching. I miss saying that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. It is going to be hot, and I'm gonna keep it coming. Bye guys.